Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in on a little bit of everything with me, your host, Angelica. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I have on the show the Coupon Queen Pin from CQP Moments podcast. She talks about saving money, great deals, ideas, DIY, and more. Check out her podcast. It's on all podcast platforms and on anchor.fm/CQP Moments. Welcome, Coupon Queen. I'm so happy to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
This is so exciting. We shared one show that we didn't think we did. And
exactly.
It's 90 Day Fiance.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So you watched yesterday's episode.
Yeah.
And what craziness. Like, I cannot believe it.
You know, it's one of those things of, I actually came up with a couple of hypotheses, and maybe it's just me. And don't get me wrong, but it's almost like, I don't know if there is this thought of someone brings someone over and you have to do what I say, because I know sometimes that's like what like, especially during the reunion shows, like that's what they express is like, you know, they feel beholden to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know, but it's almost like, and I think to me, one of the things is I'm always curious as to like, okay, with all of the millions of people in your country, why could you not find someone in your country?
And that's the question that I have as well. Of all the people.
Yeah, like it's like, okay, you had to find someone halfway around the world. You had to wait to get a passport or get your passport stamped. And now you have to go through this long process.
And it's very long. And for some, it can take up to minimum, well, for us in Canada, it's like a minimum 4 years, 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. It's not that quick. 90 Day Fiance makes it seem so easy, but really it's not. Really, it's not.
I didn't realize that. Wow. But I know it's like a year, 2 years here. So I don't. Wow.
Yeah, and it all depends on the country you're coming from too. So that takes an effect as well. Like I've heard stories where if they're coming from Europe, it's going to be probably 1 to 2 years, but depending. And then there's like, we have this point system because I remember back in the day, it's like, I remember when my dad wanted to bring over his mom and it was like, does she have an education? You get this many points. Does she does this? Then you can get this many points. It was a point system back in the day, but now I'm not sure. But when I've heard others bring, you know, spouses and husbands over and like wives and all of this, it's like, it's a long process. And for some of them, unfortunately, they can come here in a year or two, but then they're not working for like 6-7 years. And you're just like, what is happening? It's crazy.
Okay. So I wasn't clear on your last episode, and I meant to ask you this before, but who is, out of everyone, who is your favorite couple?
Oh my gosh. Okay, like this is tough.
Okay.
I feel like, oh my God. It's hard to say who's my favorite because like, I don't know. They're all crazy.
I know they are all crazy.
like I don't know. Okay, the one couple I would say that I'm really interested in seeing in the season is Nicole and Azen. Because
Actually, they're the couple that gets on my nerves the most.
they get on my nerves too, but it's interesting. You know what I really want to know? Are you gonna get married, Nicole? Are you getting married? Because we've seen everyone else on social media
Right,
kind of ruin the whole story for us, the whole storyline, except for a couple of them, but we kind of know
right,
that they're still together.
right.
So with Nicole and Azen, they've been on the show for how long? Like 3 years? 4 years?
Yeah, but I think this is a story like Muhammad and what's her face.
Danielle.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Like that was like, I mean, to me, honestly, I knew that was a sham from the start.
Yes.
How could you not want to kiss your wife at your own wedding? That's like, there's too much going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there it was. You can see it from the beginning. He was just there to just break free. Let's face it. He wasn't
Yeah.
there for the love. Come on.
Yeah.
But my favorite couple, it's hard to tell. Like, it's really difficult to choose one because it's like most of them I'm bored of them, and it's like, oh, really? Again, you're gonna fight about the same deal, and then
Yeah.
there's the ones that've been successful who are not on the show. You're just like, oh, I remember Evelyn, I remember Kiram and her hubby. They were both on The Price is Right and
Right.
the other daytime show with Wayne Brady, which I totally forgot. But you know, it's hard to tell who's going to be my favorite this season, but I'm still interested in Nicole and Azen if she eventually gets married.
And I think it's another thing where I'm not sure if he actually is in it for the green card or if he realizes that he's actually biting off more than he can chew.
I feel like he's just there for the money. Let's face it. He loves that she's sending, like, you heard her say one time that all her TLC checks are literally going to him.
Right.
So he's just there for the money. He's just like, oh, so I can talk to other women behind her back, and then Nicole can just send me a paycheck every so often, which I'm pretty sure it's probably every week, every 2 weeks, or every month.
Yeah, probably every month. Every month. I mean, you know, it's one of those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is the craziest thing, though.
Yeah. And who was your favorite couple?
My favorite couple, actually, it's weird because I like Larissa and Colt,
Uh-huh.
but it's only because it's kind of like they're kind of made for each other.
I see what you're saying with that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like made for each other. Like, they're annoying, but it's like I can't see them with anyone else.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I can't say, oh yeah, well, you know, if Larissa breaks up or if they get divorced, then it's like, you know, somehow they're going to find their way back together because I can't see them torturing other people.
Mm-hmm. You're right. But I do want to say in the What Now series,
okay,
my favorite couple is David and Annie all of a sudden.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's because Annie, like, she's learning more English and she's expressing herself even more, and she's coming out of her box and her shell, and she's just like, she's become funny.
Yeah.
And David, we know David. He's, you know what? I find David just takes what people, like, you know, you see him on social media where he's either made fun of himself or made fun of the both of them, and he just flips it around. Like, it's just, that's his humor now. He's not taking the haters seriously compared to the other cast.
That's good. That is good.
Yeah. But we have so much to talk about.
I know. I just wanted to get that out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm like so random sometimes.
No, it's okay. It's all good because oh my God, it's 3 hours long. And I felt like there was a lot happening, which of course some of it we already knew that happened. Thanks to the season 6 cast for ruining it for all of us.
Of course.
And I wanted to start off with Larissa and Colty.
Okay.
So we obviously saw that Larissa gets ready for her trial, and Mother Debbie has to drive Larissa to the trial, and Debbie feels like it's best for Larissa to be deported. And Debbie says that Colt will be hurt if she actually does because she still loves him.
Right.
So, what did you think of all of that?
I think, and this is just my take on it, you have two women warring over one guy.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is Mama wants him at home. And her biggest gripe with Larissa is Larissa took her baby.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't really have, whereas, and I say it this way, like, the other families are more worried about, well, are they in it for the money? Are they here for the... She's like, well, you took my baby, so it doesn't matter. Because to me, from what I see from Mama Debbie, it doesn't matter if it would have been an American woman or a woman from halfway around the world. Mama Debbie's just worried that somebody's trying to take her baby.
Yeah, and she's very extremely overprotected. We know already that they share a bank account. She
Right.
obviously feeds him breakfast, lunch, and dinner, takes him to work, like the
Right.
whole ordeal, like if Colty was still 12 years old.
Yeah, that is the weirdest, like, that is the weirdest codependent dynamic I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and especially sharing a bank account. And then you got Larissa, who's married to Colty. And yeah, okay, she's not working because she obviously needs a green card and, she's waiting patiently. But then all of a sudden it's like, well, I want to have something or buy something. And she can't even have the necessities without both of their approvals.
Right. But there was that thing that was said about the $1,000 makeup. Like, what the heck is up with that?
Well, I know, right? Who spends that much money on makeup?
Like, wait a minute, 1,000. Like, okay, I like makeup, but I'm not spending $1,000 on one shot.
And I wonder what this contract will look like that Larissa thinks that he signed.
Yeah, like, what is going on?
I know, it's just crazy. I feel like it's one thing. Well, we already know that they've been through a rough patch. For example,
Right.
when she first landed, where are my flowers, Colty?
Right, because he did make up for the flowers last night.
And he did.
He made up for the flowers last night.
Yeah, he really did. And he came through with that. And of course, we found out that the case was dismissed. And
Right.
He's the lawyer, Adam the lawyer, who she kind of has a crush on.
Oh yeah, but Adam the lawyer is kind of cute. I'm not even gonna lie.
He is. You see those eyes on Larissa, like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So they were told that 1 year, it would take they had to wait 1 year if they had to refile a charge against her or something.
Right. They have a 1 year. In other words, it works really weird. Because I know a lot of people, like, when they hear, on TV and you hear all this stuff and it's like, oh yeah, it was dismissed. No, in other words, what can happen, especially when you have criminal things, is even here in New York City, like, they can bring up civil charges for the same thing.
Oh, wow.
And it doesn't even have to be the person bringing it up. It can be the state.
Oh. So
it becomes the thing of, well, is she a violation to, like, will she make a good citizen?
Oh,
and
okay.
Like, now all that comes into play. Like, you brought her here and now she's not playing nice, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even with Americans, like, that's a thing. In other words, if they dismiss the case criminally, they can now bring you up on charges civilly.
Oh,
up until a year later.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why you have to, there's a full dismissal, which means you're never going to be brought up on charges ever again, or there's a partial dismissal, which means in this case it's dismissed, and if the state feels like it's worth looking back into, they will then look into it and charge you civilly.
Oh, wow. See, something that I didn't even know about, and I just learned about it. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they basically, you have a year like a probation, and then all of a
Right.
sudden they reopen this file and they say, okay, so let's analyze what happened. Is she a great citizen? Is she going to be a threat to the public? And da, da, da,
Right.
da. Wow.
Right.
Okay.
But that can happen even with citizens. Like it's not something that's just only to immigrants. Like this is something that can happen with citizens.
Anyone.
And it's just like, you know, until you've actually heard about it. And the funny thing is, not to go off so far, but I've heard people say, well, I'm not bringing up any charges. And then now it's like the state is like, but we are.
Oh, wow.
So, wow. Yeah. And they actually have to come with a whole new battery of charges. Like but they actually like have to find new evidence.
That is crazy. So yeah. Larissa, really, she isn't safe.
Right. For a year, she has to like keep her nose clean. Like if he decides to call the cops again, like she could like be deported right away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's honestly, I never knew that, and I'm surprised. That's interesting to know that.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing is like it. In other words, it's one of those things of, that's why a lot of times you'll hear American moms tell their daughters, like, don't call the cops on your husband or your boyfriend because you're mad, because you're opening a can of worms that you may not be able to take back.
Yeah, no, for sure. You call them and that's it. Your life has changed for the next year or two.
Yeah.
Wow. And we find out in that moment, too, that Colt regrets calling the police, of course.
Right.
And it's crazy how Mother Debbie before, I don't know if you noticed this, she was just like, well, it'd be best if she got deported. And then all of a sudden, after the case is over, she's like, oh, I feel so relieved.
Yeah, but if you remember, she mentioned that it was because she was afraid that he was going to follow Larissa back to Brazil.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I see. I missed that part. Oh, Mother Debbie. Yeah. And of course, we see them that they want to start all over again.
Exactly.
So overall, what do you think about Larissa and Colty from this episode? We obviously know what happens after, thanks to them and their social media.
Yeah. I think that, like I said, they're my favorite couple this season, but only because I can't see them with anyone else.
Yeah.
Like they just need to continue torturing each other. in that weird little Mama Debbie, Larissa, Colty trifecta that they've got going on.
The love triangle, which that sounds weird, but I think that's what we see on TV.
Yeah.
So my next couple I wanted to talk about is Pedro and Chantel.
Oh my gosh, family Chantel.
Oh,
did you love Shocky?
Shocky? That's her new best friend. Let's face it, that's her new best friend. And I feel like I gotta find a Shocky too, because that's gonna be my new best friend. Oh my god, but she's crazy.
Yeah. Chantel's mom is like a little off the rails.
Yeah. So yesterday we see that Chantel and Pedro are going to see a friend who is actually, her friend is Casey and is married to a Dominican. And they obviously have something that they can relate to. And of course, I felt like their dinner party was not what they expected.
No, it wasn't.
It really wasn't. And the look on Casey's face was hilarious because she's just like, what did I come here for?
Yeah, like, yeah, the kids, I can hear the babysitter calling me without a phone. Like, I have to go.
I know. I felt like she wanted to pull one of those because her face was in shock. So we know that Pedro is planning to go back to the Dominican for a month and a half to see his family.
Right.
And of course, we know that he can't really talk to his family at home. It seems like he's got it.
Right.
And speaks to his sister and says, this is what's happening. I can't speak at home, and the best way is to kind of just go outside and speak to you guys. And he says, well, I'm coming back to the Dominican for a month and a half. And of course, the sister's excitement is unreal. And what can we say about this?
I think, honestly, to me, in that thing, there's this whole, like, sneaky lie thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because even with what he said about the baby, like, oh, she doesn't want to have a baby with him, that is not what she said.
No.
She said with all the turmoil at this time, she doesn't think now is the time to have a baby.
And yeah, exactly. That's what she said. And of course, Pedro, because there is still that miscommunication, of course, what he heard is Chantel does not want to have a child.
Right. But the thing is, in other words, it's one of those games of literally telephone where he's telling his sister one thing and Chantel is not around to defend herself.
Yeah. Absolutely right.
So yeah, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, but Chantel didn't say that. And now you've got this all misconstrued and your sister hates her even more for nothing.
Yeah. And like, what do you think? I don't know I don't know whose team I'm on. I don't know if I'm Team Pedro and Team Chantel. I like that they're on their social media. They're very quiet. They didn't spoil it like season 6. So we don't know what's been happening.
Right.
I don't know whose team I'm on. Like, I see Pedro's perspective and then I see Chantel's perspective.
Right.
But I don't even know whose team I'm on at this rate.
And the funny thing is, I like them. Mm-hmm. I like them, and the only reason I like them is because my dad's Puerto Rican and my mom is Black.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually raised in that type of dynamic where there is somewhat of a language barrier, mm-hmm. and the cultures vary.
Yes.
But it's just, to me, it's almost like each of them is so determined to have their own way that they're not actually hearing each other.
No, they're not.
And so I can't say, okay, well, I'm for Chantel because she brings up some valid points. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, okay, this man is over here. He's away from his family. Yeah, he wants to go home. But it's like, really, Pedro, a month and a half?
That's a long time.
That's a long, long time, dude. Like, you got to think about that. Like, even if he were to have it, like, you can't go to your job and say, hey, well, hey, boss, man, I need a month and a half to go to my country. I'll be back. Like, that's not going to work.
Yeah, Pedro, it's not going to work that way because, here in North America, it's like you either get 2 weeks if you're lucky or you just quit and then find another job.
Exactly. Like, you took the real, like, crazy route.
Exactly. It's just crazy. It really, a month and a half, that's a long time.
But he did mention that he might stay. So
that's kind of, see, and you know what I feel like? Okay, we can't be on either team because, yeah, it's true what you said. Chantel has valid points, but I feel like Chantel's feeding the fire even more. Pedro,
she is.
Yeah, she is. Like, it's just, jabs and jabs and jabs. Well, you don't want to hang out with my family. You're not coming with me to Thanksgiving. And it's always Pedro this, Pedro that. You're not doing this. But she
Right.
does bring valid
And that's the
points.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got Pedro, who's just like, okay, I have no family in this country. And this
Right.
is my wife who can't separate herself from her family for a moment. And they hate me because that's what he sees. But I want to go back
And
to
I
the
think
Dominican.
yeah, but I think to me that's the weirdest thing is like, okay, why is she so inseparable from her family? Like, what kind of dysfunctional madness is that? Like, it's almost like she can't make a move without them. That's I think to me that's the weird thing. Like, I would love for Chantel. I mean, understand that they're a close knit family, but like, why is it she acts like she can't think without her parents?
Yeah, and I feel like since the beginning, well, since we met Chantel, she's lied to her
Right,
family.
right.
And when the family found out, it's like, what do? They're obviously going to be overprotective. And then I feel like they're feeding her. We've seen them feed her while he's harvesting the American dollar. Is he just here to take advantage of you? And everyone has their own negative input. They don't support her. But if Chantel actually told the truth from the beginning, that
Right.
I'm bringing somebody that I love, or I've been seeing somebody overseas, then I think the dynamic between her family and Chantel would
Hello?
have been different. Hello? I think we cut out. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I think we cut
I'm
out
sorry,
there.
you cut out. Yeah, we cut out for a little bit.
All right.
I think to me, it's just like you said, if she would have told the truth from the beginning, this wouldn't have been so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's almost like she lied. We all know she lied, and then we have this big rift, and then, like you said, the language thing.
Mm-hmm.
Language is a big factor.
Yep. It sure is.
And so it's like, okay, I'm supposed to do what your family says, but my family's so far away and I have no one to count on. So how does this work again?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think I can be on either team because, like I said, they both bring up valid points, but nah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the fact that there's a rumor going on, which I think we've already seen previews,
Yeah.
getting her own spin-off show.
So, hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I don't know. It keeps cutting out. It's really weird.
Oh, it's okay. So are they faking it for the spin-off show? Is this a fake? Is this that? Is it actually what they're going through?
That is my big question. Is it fake? I'm not sure. And the only reason I say this is I don't know how things work in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But in America, the dynamic of women is a little bit different from north to south.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've seen me post about it where I talk about the nice, nasty women. But in some Southern women can be this little part of nice, nasty where they're saying something nasty, but they say it with a nice tone and with a smile.
Mm.
And it's kind of like, they'll say something like, you're so special. And you don't realize that they're calling you an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but down there, it's kind of like, because she's from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they are very money motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in the wrong way.
Uh-huh.
So it could be fake for the coin, so to speak,
Yeah.
or it could be a real thing. But like I said, that's a tough one to call for me.
Yeah. It's like you bring a valid point because, well, here I don't see it as much. I don't know. People say we're too nice, but you find the odd one that's like, sarcastically telling that you're an idiot, but but majority it's everyone's way too nice. But you know what? I feel like it's the money hungry thing too. Like I feel like okay, so we've done what 2 seasons of Pedro and Chantel, and Mother Chantel and Chantel family came along, and now it's like, well, you know, do we keep this up and get our money? Like, what do we do?
Right, right. And I don't. I think to me, what it is certain people when they find their way to reality TV, they kind of can't live without the reality TV.
Exactly. Exactly. And you
And
just said it right there.
I think that's what the case is with Chantel and family Chantel. Like the whole family's like, hey, well, we're gonna milk this 15 minutes as long as it will go.
Make t-shirts. River's got like a record deal and friggin' making a demo, and I'm just like, what the hell is happening?
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, and now the other sister has brought her husband along and the kids. I'm like, wait, she wasn't married when we met family Chantel in the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
where did you got like a whole family now? Like, you have your own whole family. Like, ow.
It's that TLC paycheck. You know what? Bring them on. They said, okay, let's just do this.
Like, oh, gosh. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And pretty soon we might see like dogs and cats getting their 15 minutes of fame and getting a paycheck.
Oh gosh, yeah, poor little Fluffy and Princess will be decked out, getting. Now we have to make sure that they go to the groomers and to the vets, and
Oh my goodness.
Louis Vuitton collars and.
Exactly. And some Gucci, I don't know, hats if the dogs wear hats, but it's just crazy.
Oh gosh, this is crazy.
But we
Yeah,
noticed
no, I don't know.
it's just crazy. Honestly, I feel like they're just there for the money. They are, oh, we're
Yeah,
unstable again, and this is part of podcasting.
I know.
So,
But yeah, they are there just for. I think. I hate to say it, but I think Family Chantel is just in it just for the money. It's another Kate plus 8 thing.
yes, or counting on if you watch that.
Yeah, yeah. It's another. It's an yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then we realized towards the end, Pedro, before he goes on to his trip to the Dominican, he goes and sees a lawyer to talk about his green card.
Yeah, what the heck was up with that? Like, well, if I get divorced, well, dang, do you just plan on getting divorced?
Yeah, and he says, I can be in the best country in the world and be free.
Yeah, so sounds like we got another green card case on our hands.
Yeah.
Um, but here's the unfortunate thing.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, I was just talking to somebody today, and they told him, in other words, your stuff can vote because they will think that you're not being genuine. And honestly, like here, I don't like a lot of those like ICE and all of that, they pay attention to that stuff. So it's like, yeah, you're really trying to convince somebody you married for getting married sake. And you just said I can live in the best country and be free, and asked about a divorce.
Yeah. That's crazy. Like, why would you say that on TV knowing that you can get all of this footage and knowing the family Chantel, they would go crazy over that and they'll do whatever it takes to get him deported. So, why is he doing that to himself? If he's unhappy, just say it and leave.
Yeah. Yeah, and the only problem is I think they're also too far for an annulment. Like they're too far along in the marriage for an annulment.
Yeah, because I think they've been married for what, 2, 3 years now,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah, and I think because here I think it's after 3 months you can no longer get annulled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Pedro, I don't know what you're going to do, buddy, but you really showed the whole world that you just want to be in the best country in the world and be free.
Yeah. And bring over your mom and your sister.
Yeah. Bring everybody so they can get some of that TLC money.
It's crazy.
So, enough about Pedro and Chantel. This is another couple that I'm kind of like, oh, Russ,
Who?
and Pau.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to say this about Pau.
Say it.
She has gotten on my last flippin' nerve. Like, she is not trying.
Nope.
She is not trying. She's not trying to be nice to Russ. She's not trying to be nice to Russ's family. I mean, okay, who shows up to your own baby shower an hour late because you needed to do your nails?
Yeah. I don't know what it is with them. I feel like they stayed way too long in the TLC franchise because they were like the very first ones. And I feel like
yeah, they just need to go.
Exactly.
They've like, to me, I don't even know why they got their own segment, because to me they're like that person that's overstayed their welcome, and it's like, dude, I gave you 2 weeks. Why are you still here this later?
Exactly. That's what they are. And you know what? They're getting obviously the highest paid amount because they've been there since the beginning.
Of course.
And I've heard
seniority, tenure.
Exactly. And they're gonna rank in the $50,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And you see how money, kind of like makes Pau very happy. She's rocking the Gucci bags, the Louis Vuitton shoes. Like, no, Pau, you need to go. Get off of my television.
And here's my thing. Okay. Honestly, it's like, okay, they're getting 50,000. Are they getting 50,000 a segment, or are they getting 50,000 a year?
I think it's a segment because what I've heard a rumor from the Counting On, because you know how it was 20 kids, was it? My God, what was the original series? Oh my God.
I forgot the number. Yeah, I forgot the number, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So now that they switched into just Counting On and then focusing on the older children, apparently they're doing, because it's been 20 years that most of them been on the show, they're getting $1 million an episode.
What?
Yes. So Russ and Pau, they've taken a break, but they've come back, I guess, to talk contract and money.
So they're probably getting about 50 an episode. Yeah, and yeah, that's not anything to sneeze at. Like, okay, we have this term in the United States called a trap baby.
Okay.
And what that usually means is that usually either a guy tries to get a woman pregnant, or a woman gets pregnant on purpose to try to trap a guy.
we have that too, but it's different. Or it could be the same.
And yeah, and it's really, really just because of the money. So it's like, in other words, now baby makes for interesting storyline. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay, 50,000. Think about it, 50,000 a segment, and now you're adding baby, so baby adds to storyline.
Yes.
So yeah,
Which is really bad because really you're gonna use your own baby as a way of extra income and extra 15 minutes of fame. They like you said
yeah, that's kind of,
they stayed way too long.
they're way too long.
Yeah, they just need to go. I just can't anymore. Like I don't even care about his job if he's gonna get it in if he actually tells her that he's gonna have a job in Oklahoma.
Yeah, he didn't tell her. He didn't tell her.
No.
He didn't tell her.
And Pau needs to stop saying that it's an excuse for her that, Colombians show up late. So you're telling me when you're living in Miami and have a job or a photo shoot, you're saying that if it's at 1:00, you're going to show up at 3? Girl, that's so BS because they would have fired you there.
Yeah, she's just, it's just an excuse. It is an excuse. I mean, that's just that doesn't work. It's like, girl, get to the party on time. We all know what that was. She didn't want to she already didn't want to be there, and that's that, conveniently late, maybe I can get out of this as much as possible.
Yeah. And that was super rude because and then what made me so upset that she says, well, I was disappointed that people left and they left early. Girl, it started 2 hours before. You were late. People in North America, if she still doesn't know, they either have 2 jobs, they have priorities, they have stuff on a schedule. So Pau needs to get off her high horse.
Exactly.
I have nothing else to say about them.
Okay, because yeah, they're like, no.
No way. So the next couple is Libby and Andre.
I'm not, you know what it is to me? I don't know how I feel about them. I don't know if the whole him getting mad is like an excuse or a front, but I mean, her dad's been taking care of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a thing.
It is a thing, and it's okay. We know her dad is really upset from the whole situation since she's brought and thought of and spoke about Andre. And of course, they've been on this rocky road between all 3 of them. And of course, the sisters and the rest of the family,
Right.
just, team dad. Libby thinks that dad is upset. Of course he's upset. He's been upset since you brought Andre. Like, come on. This is nothing new. And the fact... Sorry, go ahead. You cut out. Oh, our internet again's unstable. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's the other thing is, and then you bring a baby into it, and it's like he's still paying for everything, and now he's going to have to pay for his grandchild.
Yeah. And it really sucks for the dad because that's tough. It's really tough. I don't even know what to say because he even says, like, I lend you one of my properties and you guys can't even buy $150 lawnmower to mow the lawn. And she has this excuse. Like, really? You have this man who's sitting at home doing nothing.
Right. He's not doing anything. So let him mow the lawn.
Yeah. And of course, Andre, being Andre, expresses how he doesn't want anything from him and doesn't want to accept anything.
Exactly.
It's like Libby is afraid of losing her family because we realize after that. And Andre's still not working. So how is that going to work out, Andre?
Yeah. That is my question. Like he went so far off of emotion. Well, we don't need him and we're gonna do this and this is how it's gonna be and I don't need him. Oh, okay. I hope that works out for you.
Yeah, and of course she is stressing because it's like she's the one working, and
Right. And
then
now she's pregnant.
yeah, and she's pregnant on top of that. You're absolutely right, and it's a crazy show all on its own with them. Like, no.
So, okay, I actually have to get ready to run, but there is one couple I want to discuss.
Talk about it.
Oh my gosh. Jay.
Mm.
Mhm. Okay.
Oh,
I am definitely not Team Jay. I am definitely not Team Jay. But what she did last night,
mm-hmm.
I kind of felt for him.
Did
Because,
you?
yeah, because to me, two wrongs don't make a right. Like, and even her ex said, like, would he flip out if he knew that you were here?
Mm.
You went, you got your hair done, looking all fancy, you look amazingly hot for your ex. Really? That is like such an underhanded move.
Yeah.
And no, now I will say this. I have been the hurt woman before.
Mm-hmm.
And to any of your male listeners, I give this bit of advice. When you hurt a woman, especially when we've been with you for a good amount of time, we tend to try to come below the belt because we want you to hurt just as bad or even more so than we do.
Yep.
But what she did was not right. I mean, when your ex has to kind of chastise you, you know you screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but my thought is, dude, you got married and you were like on POF, really?
Yeah. He was swiping away.
And he thought it was a joke.
Mm-hmm. Meet friends online.
Go to Facebook, go to Snapchat, go to Instagram, meet friends online. Do not go to Tinder or Plenty of Fish or Black Planet or Black People Meet or any of those lovely things or eHarmony, Christian Mingle, JDate, any of them. Do not go there and say, hey, you know what? I just wanted a friend. That is the equivalent of going to the red light district and saying, I just needed somebody to talk to. No, dude. No, dude. We all know you went there for some nasty stuff. You did not go there to find a friend.
Yeah, and we heard that Ashley tells her ex that Jay was inviting them to her house.
That's where it was like, I felt bad until I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, are you serious? Like, that's bold. That's beyond bold.
Yes.
Like, to me, that is one of the biggest screw yous you can do. Like, not only do I flirt with other people, but I'm going to do it in your face, in your territory, in your backyard. Literally, in your backyard.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for them both because she shouldn't have gone into that relationship with Jay. We knew he was
Yeah,
young, and he's said it before, like, I love women and I love this, and he's just
right.
like his dad. And then there's Jay, who's just, well, fell in love with Ashley, and I didn't even think he was still sure to get married with her in the first place.
That's what I was wondering. I didn't think he was going to go through with it.
Yeah, but green card, red flag.
Yeah. That green card is like a really big thing.
It really is. It's like the gold ticket. Like, it's the golden ticket to get out of where they are, come here into the North Americas and start a new life. And, I'm going to make all the money and live in a golden house, like Larissa said at the beginning, in a big car with AC, and it's just all the bells and whistles.
But the funny thing is, I spoke to someone, and I didn't really think that people actually still told this thing. Like, there is this myth that keeps being told to people that, like, there's money everywhere in the United States. For those that believe there's money everywhere in the United States, could you tell the Americans so we can go find it?
Right? Please? Because apparently it grows on trees. You can find it in like some sort of store that I don't know, and you can go in there and grab $1 million and make your life.
Yeah. It's like I don't get it, but because it's like there's this assumption that all of a sudden they're gonna come here, they're gonna buy $100,000 car and $1,000 makeup and live in some 10-room mansion. Yeah, no.
No, it's not like that. Honestly, it's not. And we get that same perception too. Like, even family from back home, they think like, I have all this money and I have this. And I'm just like, no, I work 3 jobs. I have to pay for this. I have to pay for that. I have to pay for this. Nothing's cheap. And I said, this is what I said to them. You live a better life than I do, because here we have credit cards. We can get loans and we can get carried away and get whatever we need. You guys don't have anything, just cash. You have real cash when you guys get it. And that's living rich, because here in North America, not many people have the hard cash.
Right. And it's funny because someone asked me for change the other day, and then I actually like went into my pocket and I was like, shoot, when was the last time I actually carried change?
Right?
So yeah, we don't really carry money. No, but yeah, to all those lovely people who believe that North Americans have there's money could you tell us where to locate it?
Yes, please tell us.
Contact Angelica, she'll contact me, and we will go find it.
We will go find it. And are we going to share it? I don't think so. We'll share it just between the Coupon Queen and myself.
Exactly. Like, come on. Oh my gosh, it has been great talking to you, but like I said, I actually do have to run.
I know. Thank you.
And it was such a long episode. I would love to do this again.
For sure.
That way I can definitely map out some more time, and but I like I said, it's like that's like my guilty pleasure. So that's one of my guilty pleasures. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Coupon Queen. And I know we ran out of time, but honestly, it was amazing. And everyone, please check out her podcast. It's called CQP Moments Podcast. She is on all podcast platforms. You can also check her out on anchor.fm/CQP Moments. It will be all in the show notes. And I will continue on talking about 90 Day Fiance. But thank you so much, Coupon Queen.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I will listen to the rest of this. But thank you for having me. And this was amazing. Like I said, I can't wait to do this again.
And we'll talk next week.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you so much again and have a great night.
You too. Good night.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, I'm back. So I had an amazing conversation with the Coupon Queen from CQP Moments podcast, and I'm going to leave all her information, especially where to listen to her podcast. And we just wrapped up talking about Larissa and Colty, Pedro and Chantel, Russ and Pau, Libby and Andre, and of course, Jay and Ashley. So those were all our opinions and what we thought so far from yesterday's episode. And I'm going to move forward with Nicole and Asin. Of course, Nicole is celebrating May's birthday. And when it comes to birthdays, the family comes along with her. So we got mom, dad, sister, you name it. Everyone's coming. And the biggest question she's asked, what assurance you have that you will marry this time? You will marry this time. And she gets mad. Why, Nicole? Everyone's wondering why you're not even married yet. We've got declined visas from South Korea. Now they're planning on going to Grenada because it's friendly. But do you even think Azin's actually going to these places? I feel like he's just like, well, I couldn't, I got denied. But he doesn't tell her the reason. What the heck is going on? Hasn't she even opened up her eyes and think about what is happening? But of course, Nicole being Nicole, and that Azin loves her 55%, and that's enough for her. She's going crazy in love with him. And he's just using her. That's what I honestly think. He is just using her. Azan is using her. So we realized that she also has some temp jobs because it's important for Azin, for us to hang out in her eyes and be alone by ourselves. Of course, little May's going to come with them. So that's another freaky thing that's happening. The poor May, but honestly, I feel bad for May and I don't want May to leave. She should be staying with Robin Lee, which is Nicole's mom. We see them at the supermarket and they're FaceTiming, and like she says, it's important for Azan to eat healthy and lose weight. Girl, what I'm going to say is Azan or Azan, I don't know what's the right pronunciation, he loves you 55%. So let's just move on from that. All right, so that was the 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, and now we're going to move on to what now. So in this episode, we see Kalani and Osuelo. They are throwing a Christmas party, and Dad doesn't know about the baby that's coming. And they're at a Samoa grocery store supermarket, and she's asked her dad to meet up so that way Osuelo can talk to her dad about what's happening. So dad shows up. He's happy to see his grandbaby. And, they're grabbing things. And Osuelo's freaking nervous as hell, as you can see. He's just like, oh my God. Like, poor Osuelo. He's ready to fall apart. And, of course, he's nervous. And he says, well, I'm cooking for tomorrow. And we're throwing a Christmas party. And it's not just a Christmas party. Of course, you have, like, the suspense music in the background. And he's like, well, we're also having a baby. Dad's reaction shocked me, probably along with everybody else. He's happy about it. He's happy that he's going to have a grandchild, and he's happy, I guess, Osuelo's warming up to him, and he's kind of liking Osuelo at this point, but I guess he's more happy that the fact that he's going to have another grandbaby. And it seems like things went well for them. So kudos to them. The next couple we get to see is Fernanda and Jonathan. Honestly, I'm not going to talk much about them because we already know what's happening. She's just being really whiny, and she needs to be patient. The poor man's doing whatever he takes. He's funded you a car, a boob job, funded you your makeup, your Amazon account, your Sephora account, your mani-pedis every week, your clothing expenses that you want. He's funded you everything. So I feel like Fernanda's very selfish. She needs to just kind of take her mom's advice and be patient, and you just gotta wait it out. But like she says, I don't want to wait it out. Okay, honestly, Fernanda, please. Anyways, She just wants to leave. She doesn't want to be there in Lumberton, and she wants to move to Chicago. So, you know what? We already know what happens to them. Not going to talk about it anymore. Next couple we're going to talk about, this is going to be short and sweet. Lauren and Alexi. Okay, so they got that baby fever craze. And, okay. What else can we say about this? There's not much drama going on with these two. Seems like they're the perfect couple. And there's not enough drama for their TV. But Alexi wants his citizenship first, and they want to try having a baby. Next up, we've got David and Annie. So Annie visits a lawyer to see what's happening with her visa because she has no clue what's happening. And David's always telling her, well, it's taking a long time. It's taking a long time. We don't know what's happening. Then David is feeling the pressure because Annie's wondering why it's taking so long. So David is like, wait, you went to go see a lawyer? So, of course, he's all concerned because, like, we know that Annie's very impatient. She just wants to work. The girl wants to work. So it's taking a long time. And, you know, it's just playing the waiting game. And it sucks, right, for Annie. But we'll see what happens. Next couple is Jenny and Larry. So we all know Larry was a McDonald's manager. He used his 401k to go see the love of his life, Jenny, in the Philippines. So Jenny's arrived. This is probably what, in this episode, it's like her second day, her first 48 hours. Jenny's a bit nervous about meeting Larry's son. And I gotta say, Larry raised his son very well, very polite. He kept an open mind. He wasn't like David's daughter where she freaked out on Annie. Larry's son, you see that they get along with Jenny. So I gotta give kudos to Larry for raising his son like that because I was shocked. I was like, wow, okay. He's so polite. He kept an open mind. He just asked a couple of questions about, you know, the love that she has for his dad. And I was like, okay. And the possible that she wants to move like forever in the Philippines, but it's obviously she hasn't brought it up to Larry, but we'll see what happens. So that was a quick recap of what's happening with What Now. And if you guys have any comments, what's your intake of what's been going on with Happily Ever After and What Now? I know it's 3 hours of 90 Day. It's so long. And then we got 90 Day the other way. So it's crazy. But I do want to thank the Coupon Queen Pin from CQP Moments Podcast. We share this interest of 90 Day, and I'm so excited to have her on next week and talk about more 90 Day Fiance drama. She talks about money-saving tips, great deals, ideas, DIY, and more. Check out her podcast. Once again, it's on all podcast platforms and on Anchor at anchor.fm/CQP Moments. And for everyone out there who's listening, well, we'll see you guys next week. It's funny how I say see you because we're not on TV, but tune in next week and we're going to recap more 90 Day Fiance. Bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe. Click on the subscribe button because there's new episodes always coming. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and like us on Instagram at A Little Bit of Everything with Me. Leave a review and a 5-star rating on our podcast channel. And DM me if you have a specific topic, an event that's happening, or a service you would like to promote. And let's connect.